Hello, everyone. Bienvenidos. Uh, we come today with a very talented woman from Mexico. Mexico es lindo y barato. Well, it used to be barato, but it's still lindo. That's what the tourists used to say. And Inés Lopez de Arriaga. And we actually met 25 years ago. And Inés is a very cultured person who has a background, I believe, in your family, even your parents, with music and dance, especially folk dancing, Mexican folk dancing, various different styles. And also, uh, both Inés and myself are teachers of the Hakomi method of somatic, mindfulness-based self-inquiry or psychotherapy, as it's sometimes called. And the very first training of Hakomi in Latin America was in Mexico 25 years ago. And that's when we met. And since then, Inés, you have continued to not only to practice Hakomi, but became a teacher, I believe even a trainer. And Hakomi has flourished in Mexico and beyond. So, bienvenida a la entrevista a Substack. So nice to have you here. And we're just going to have about half an hour to explore some themes that are passionate for you and very relevant to your heart's desire. Oh,
Well, I thank you for this invitation. It's an honor for me. Like you said, we met 25 years ago. But when we met, I was just a very young person searching for something that fulfills some of my deepest heart's desires. And you were already a very skillful therapist. So I learned a lot from you, and I have a lot of respect for you. So I'm very honored to be here today.
oh, well, thank you so much. Always nice to get a little pat on the back, a little recognition. And well, I remember, yes, you're younger than I am. I just turned 78 yesterday, actually. But I remember the class of very interesting people. Um, there must have been 15 at least, 18 maybe. And
Well, I don't know. We started like a bunch of people, but ended, as always happens with this stuff,
it's just,
we didn't end as much as we started.
right.
But it was an interesting group because everybody, we all came from body-oriented psychotherapy fields.
Yeah.
So it was really interesting because everyone had some sort of experience. Um, and it was rich because of that, because we share a lot with Ron, and we were able to embody the method with depth because of that,
Yes.
no?
Yeah. Everyone pretty much was a professional. There were
Yeah,
two or three medical doctors, psychologists,
yeah, yeah.
Um, so yeah, it went deep very quickly. So I would love to hear from you your impression of Ron Kurtz, who was the founder of Hakomi. And I remember when I first met him on my way back from South America in Florida,
Yeah,
and it was quite an experience. But what was your impression of him? Uh,
yeah. Well, in order to answer this, I have to go back a little on my journey. I was a professional dancer since very young age. I started ballet classes when I was 6 years old. So when I became 18, I was already professional and making some choreography and also navigating through scenarios of theater and a lot of artistic searching in that way. But the path of a professional dancer can be very, very violent, like very self-denial, very obsessed, very, very harsh. So the very first thing that I remember Ron said making a statement, you know, so we can study the impact of that statement, was your life belongs to you. And when I heard that, it was like a awakening. And it changed my life forever, because that's been my search since then. Like, if my life belongs to me, what do I want to do with my life? How can I become freer and freer every time? Like, I'm looking for freedom.
Yeah.
Freedom from a lot of stuff, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I remember him as a very kind person, also very stubborn. But I love that. I used to make fun of him, telling him that he was like Baloo, the character of the what's the name in English? El libro de la selva. The Rudyard Kipling.
Tarzan, Mowgli.
Mowgli,
Mowgli.
remember? So
Yeah.
the bear that accompanies Mowgli is Baloo in Spanish. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that the name in English too?
Baloo, yeah.
Yeah. So and it was very nice, because he started singing the song, the characteristic song of Baloo, along with his daughter. And they say that they have that in common, that they used to think of him as that. So that was very, very nice to me. So he was like a teacher, a great teacher in my life. Also a little bit of a I must say, as a fatherhood thing.
Mother figure, yeah.
Yeah. But it was very encouraging. I think that he always encouraged me to follow my bliss, to follow my curiosity.
Yeah.
And my curiosity has always been, how can I merge my passions? So my artistic self, that it's very strong in me,
Yeah.
how can I merge it with this incredible path of Hakomi, of self-searching, no? And how to cultivate in young artists this kind of self-inquiry and creativity that comes from their soul, their hearts, and not from these outer voices that can be very destructive, no?
Okay. Mm-hmm. Distraction. Sorry about that. Well, yeah, true creativity. It's an amazing thing. And some people believe that it's the key to spirituality, or the key to healing is to be able to get in touch with that creative part of ourselves. And I know myself, I've worked a lot with sound and voice over the years,
Mhm.
and combined with psychotherapy and psychodrama and various things. And
Mhm.
I remember right from the get-go that I think you danced for us once or twice. And
Alert from low battery.
did you hear that? All things are popping here. My goodness.
It's okay, it's okay.
It's all part of the environment, right?
It's just life going on.
Multimedia. So I know you mentioned that you have currently, you've been a Hakomi therapist for many years, and also teacher of the Hakomi method. And you've kept at your art, your dancing, your movement. I remember once you had me down to give a workshop to the theater students at the University of Mexico. And that was,
Yeah.
I still have some photographs from that. It was really fun. Such creative young people. So you say you have something in the works now that you're cooking on the stove, which is some merging or mélange of Hakomi mindfulness therapy with with movement, perhaps? Or can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, I can't tell a lot because like it's on the stove, so.
Okay, yeah.
But the principles are that like I stopped teaching Hakomi in 2019. Then my life just get very chaotic because I was married for 26 years and my marriage ended in that same year.
Yeah.
It's funny because when 2019 started, I asked a friend that is a great astrologist, what do you see for me what are the tendencies for me during this year? And she said, you are going to finish a lot of cycles in your life. But I never imagined that one of those was my marriage, like that just caught me out of guard.
It really,
and in the very same year, my father died. So it was a very harsh year for me. And I remember that I took again this wonderful Pema Chodron's book, When Everything Falls Apart, because that was my feeling, like everything was falling apart.
Right, yes.
And then 2020, like the big thing that happened in
COVID,
the whole world, the shutdown of the world. But it was surprisingly, it was a good thing for me because I was able to recognize myself being single and recognize again what were my passions and what were my path. So I can tell you that the whole thing that happened to me, I draw it, I sung it, I danced it, like I express it in many ways through art.
Yes.
And I simply just convince myself how powerful is art to heal.
Absolutely, yeah.
So now my current project is like finally do this merge that I've been willing to do since ages. And now I finally have the time to do it, like now I want to work for my project and myself, as selfish as it can sound, but like it's my time, and I feel I talked about this many times with Ron, because I do some approaches when I was working with him. And he always was interested in what I was studying and trying to do this merge in between these two
modalities.
So like I feel very blessed by him, and I know this it's very amazing because it's like I've been what like one of my deepest aprendizajes, how do you say that? Learnings, oh yeah. Sorry, one of my deepest learnings of a lifetime is that I have to take my solitude and make something with that. Like life just, my parents are already gone, my kids are grown up, and they are living their lives. I no longer have a companion, so it's not like something tragic at all. It's just like life telling me, you were looking, always searching for freedom. Here it is, your freedom. The freedom you wanted is here. What do you want to do now? So it's been amazing, like really having this conversation with my core, with myself, with my heart, with my soul. And now I'm cooking this thing that comes from there. So I'm very excited. I think that in a few months it's going to be outside, but now I'm cooking.
Well, I'm looking forward to knowing more in the future. Well, it's interesting though, because even though you've had exposure to music and dance your whole life and the interest, but sometimes it takes a tragedy or a crisis personal in our life when we lose somebody or we get ill or have an accident. And the only way that we can get through the trauma of the grief and fear and everything else, anger that comes up with that, is to reconnoiter, with ourselves, reconocer a nosotros mismos, and have a conversation with that, with our heart or our inner sage.
Yeah.
And this is where, in your case, it sounds like you used your art to move through the trauma and the grief. And it can be very effective for that because, as we know, trauma-informed therapists know this, that trauma lives in the body, in the soma. And until we find a way to liberate it,
yeah,
it will be there until we die. We'll take it to the grave with us. We may learn how to, coping mechanisms and defense strategies and so on, but it's there. It's weighing us down. So that theme of liberation, you always wanted to be free. And you mentioned also when you met Ron Kurtz, one of the things that you loved about him was that he encouraged you to be free and to find your way. What was the phrase he said? Your life is your own?
Your life belongs to you.
Belongs to you, yeah, right. So now you're at a juncture. So you got rid of your husband, you got rid of your kids, as wonderful as they all are, and your parents passed away. And you're still young and you've got all your marbles. And so it's a wonderful time to really spread your wings and to discern or decipher what is the language that your soul wants to speak. Develop, for the conversation that you have with yourself and all the parts, interior parts, but then that you want to give to the world.
Yeah, and also it's like I was in a meditation last Friday with my yoga teacher, and she said because this was a new moon in Leo.
Yes.
And Leo invites you to express yourself, to be yourself, to shine,
Radiance, like the sun.
So it was so nice because I was like, it's time that I do that, because also I think that's my unique, like your unique way of merging singing, that you make such a wonderful job with music and self-awareness and everything that you do, that it's so inspiring. That's your particular medicine, like that's Hugh's medicine to the world. And I'm convinced that this is mine. So I'm really looking forward to make it happen finally.
Yeah. Well, maybe, as this moves along, I have all kinds of little projects on the back burner of my stove. And I'm focusing. I'm trying not to be too all over the place because I have a lot of interest. I'm trying to focus on my.
We creative people can be like that.
I know. It takes a lot.